strategy is a combination. The reason why I like strategy is I'm a practical person, and there's so much bullshit in the world today. People just talking and talking and talking and talking, and they don't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything, right? Strategy is getting results. It's the bridge. I call it the bridge between an idea and the result. And if you're not strategic, you never get the result that you want. So it's a great thing. So it has to be a combination of two things. It has to be the idea and the bridge to the realizing the idea. And one without the other is useless. So if you read a lot of great books on strategy, it's kind of useless. And if you only try and get things done, you don't have a rich enough mind with enough options in your brain to choose from. You want to combine the two. So what does that mean if you're a young person in the military? I'm sure you have to read a lot in your curriculum, etc. So read the classics on strategy. There's so many good ones. It's one area. I happen to think that books now, a lot of writers now, not all, but a lot of writers now are not as good as they were 50, 60 years ago. But in strategy, I'd make an exception. Military writing is better than ever. Some great writers, Martin Van Crevel, Keegan, I could go on and on. A lot of great people writing about Litvak, a lot of people writing about strategy that are really top-notch. But choose your own books. Don't necessarily read what you're given. Read things that are more exciting, that are more relevant necessarily. I don't know, is John Boyd, for instance, Colonel Boyd, someone that is taught in classes these days?
Oh yeah,
and the OODA loop?
The OODA loop is huge to a curriculum on situational awareness I used to teach. It's tremendous.
Okay, so I mean, I'm operating from what I call a knowledge asymmetry. You know, I don't know as much as you do. There are a lot of asymmetries in war, and one of them is information. So I don't know as much as you do. But I'm personally attracted to people like Boyd who are outside the mainstream, but now obviously are accepted. And there are others, and there are other kind of radicals like that who are really interesting. You know, you can look at my bibliography in war. If you want to write to me, I have other books that I recommend. And then becoming a strategist in your life. So in a day-to-day sense, being more strategic, practicing it, not just reading about it. Looking at you have children and the boy is acting up. Applying strategy to that situation and using reverse psychology and using a kind of counterattack or flanking maneuver on your son. Not hard to do, and I can talk about that in another interview. Being strategic with your boss and your situation, with your career. Grand strategy. Well, don't just wait for you becoming a general and being in charge of you know, dealing with terrorism in the Middle East. Practice grand strategy on yourself. Where do you want to be in 10 years? That's grand strategic thinking. Okay, I want to be at this point. I want to be, you know, this is a person I admire. I'm going to get there. Okay, now a plan for where you'll be in 5 years, and in 1 year, and in next month, and building that up. A strategist in life, dealing with your boss, dealing with colleagues, practicing it every day, catching yourself getting emotional, stepping back and saying, no, remember Robert's #1 principle, options. The person with more options wins. If you're playing chess and you it doesn't matter if the other side is decimated, if you have less pieces, but if your queen is in a position that can attack from 4 directions, you're going to win. You know, options. Think of that. You're in a new situation. How can I have options to maneuver? Be a strategist in life, not just reading the books. That's my main advice.
Amazing. Robert, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure, Brett. This was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Great. I'm so glad.
Yeah.